Hey everybody, it's Videobob, and I've been waiting to make this video for some time. I've been waiting to see what my arm was going to look like so that I could make this video. But I've been dealing with this for months. Now, if you watched some of my more recent videos, you may have seen that I had a Band-Aid on my arm. And, I had been bitten by a Brown Recluse spider. I'm not 100% positive that that was the case, but that seems to be the opinion of everyone by looking at the scar. Now, the Brown Recluse, also known as the Fiddle Back or the Violin back, it's a little small brown reclusive spider. It's a soft little dainty spider. It has 6 eyes in triangular formation. You know, it has two, and two, and it has and its secondary limbs are really long, and they're real small, soft little brown spiders. And really, they're one of the most feared spiders in the United States, one of the most deadly kind of in the world, really. Because the thing is you never even know that you've been bitten by them. I mean, they're so, listen, let me preface this by saying I am not a doctor. I am not a spider expert. I'm just a guy who got bit by a spider and did a little research. But what I've learned about them is that they don't have a lot of power in their fangs to go rip it into you. You never even feel it usually when they bite you. And usually it happens when, you throw your clothes on the floor, socks, shirts, pants, whatever. They go inside, and then you put on your clothes, and then all of a sudden they get you on your arm or your back or your leg or somewhere like that. Now, mine was up here on my forearm. And I think it might have happened when I was carrying a box or a bundle of something, and the spider was there and pressed up against my arm and bit me. Because I didn't even feel it. I felt like what was like a mosquito bite at first. And I was just kind of scratching it, and it was like, I got a bug bite. And then I got a little whitehead pustule. Kind of like what you would get if you were bitten by like a fire ant. And I thought, oh man, a fire ant must have got me. Kept getting a little bigger, kept scratching it, picking at it. You know what happens, when you got a itchy bug bite. Well, then I started to turn black. I started to get this hard black nugget. And normally with a scab like that, I mean, listen, we've all picked the scab off, I was trying to, and it wasn't coming out. It was rooted in there deep. And it kept getting bigger. It was like a black diamond in my arm. And then I remember I woke up the next day and the thing had swollen up quite a bit. It was hot. It was tender. And, it was about the size of like a peanut, at first. And then the next day, oh my God, it was huge. It was the size of like a golf ball. It had this big purple mound on there. My whole arm was so sore I could barely walk. I could barely move my arm. And I called my wife. I said, I got to go to the emergency room. I went to the ER and I told them, I said, I think I've been bitten by a spider. And they took one look at it and they rushed me right back. I didn't have to wait, fill out any paperwork. They took me back like I was having a heart attack. They immediately laid me down on a table. They covered me with like a gown. They had me kind of land on my side. And he started giving shots in my arm. Oh my God, it hurt so much. And then he pulled out a scalpel and stabbed it and lanced it and started squeezing goo out of it. Oh my God, I was screaming and I was crying and tears were running down my face and my teeth were chattering like I was freezing. I thought I was going to pass out. It hurt so much. I don't want to scare you, but let me tell you, that shit hurt. And if I had gone to the hospital sooner, I probably wouldn't have had to go through all that. Oh. So the wound kept getting bigger and bigger. He gave me a prescription to tramadol, which is like an opioid or something, I guess. I didn't like taking it. It made my whole body itchy, and I was all crackheady and just like, I didn't like it at all, but it helped with the pain. He put me on some antibiotics that lasted for about a week or two. I forget how long I had to take them. But it took weeks and weeks for the scab to finally, go down. And I had that hard little scab there, and for the longest time, I could push on it and squeeze goo out of it. Ow. Look at this rag. How disgusting is that? I've been doing this all day. Oh, fuck, that hurts. Shit. That hurts. God damn it. Blah. You know that's what you wanted to come here to see is goo. So, what I'm here to say is, if you think that you've been bitten by a brown recluse, now, listen, there's a lot of different staph infections, diabetic ulcers, all kinds of things that may simulate what people think is a spider bite. But I think that the best thing to do, whether you have insurance or not, is go to the hospital. And by the way, do not go to like a Care Now clinic, like a local clinic that's a strip mall kind of clinic. They won't see you for a spider bite if they think that that's what it is. You need to go to a genuine emergency room. Because when I went out looking for help, I went to some like local clinics and things. I said, we can't see you for a spider bite. You have to go to the emergency room. And I wish I had done it a day or two earlier. So let me tell you what's going to happen if you've gotten a brown recluse spider bite. It's really important that you get on it as early as possible because it can get very necrotic. And I'm telling you, people have lost limbs, lost their lives because of the spider bite. This is nothing to jack around with. It's really important that you at least get it checked out. Hey, better to go on and find out that it's just some other infection and to feel like a fool rather than to like lose your arm or your leg or your head. And I'm sure that if you Googled brown recluse spider bite, you've seen some horrific images like the ones that I've seen. So it's really important that you stay on top of this. Let me tell you what you're going to end up with. You are going to have a scar. You will have a necrotic smooth spot when it heals. So here on my arm, I have this smooth, it looks like a bullet wound. It looks like somebody burned my arm with a cigar. And it's right next to my 2 tattoos. Thank goodness it wasn't right on my tattoo. The tattoo up above is a tribute to my close friend Vinnie Paul. When he died, this was a little autograph that he used to sketch for people, and I tattooed that on me. And then below that is my Elvis TCB, taking care of business. And it's right in between them. I may have to come up with a tattoo that incorporates the scar, because I'm probably going to have that scar for the rest of my life. I'm going to have that little shiny spot. The hair isn't growing back on it, and it's probably going to be that way for a long time. And the doctor said that what I would have to do if I really wanted to get rid of this scar, I'd have to go in and get some kind of a cosmetic surgery where they cut it out, stitch that together so that I kind of get the hairline back, and then at least you just have a little line there instead of the big smooth spot. But that's what you got to do. Being bitten by a brown recluse is nothing to joke about. It can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter, who you think you are. You are not immune. And some of the best ways to prevent brown recluse spiders, first of all, just don't have clutter on the floor. Get glue traps. Glue traps seem to work really well. Put those under your bed, under the dressers, under the stove and the refrigerator, and all the little places where little creepy crawlies go. It's a glue board. It's just a piece of cardboard with glue on it. And that seems to trap them pretty good. And if you use some glue boards and you pull them out and you find that you have brown recluses on them, you might want to spray the house. I sprayed the shit out of my house with bug killer. Some people don't like to use poisons, but I tell you what, I also don't like having my arm bitten off by a brown recluse spider. So this video is here just to help you guys out a little bit if you've been through this. I don't want to scare you. Listen, you're going to have to go to the hospital. You're going to have to get some shots. It's going to suck, but let me tell you, it doesn't suck nearly as bad as living with that big knot wherever it is, if it's on any part of your body, because it can get infected. Matter of fact, some people were telling me that they said, the guitarist, the Slayer, he died because of one of those spider bites. Well, it wasn't directly because of the spider bite, but if you leave the spider bite infected and pus is coming out of it and you don't do anything about it, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. You have to go in and get shots, antibiotics, and get it taken care of. And if you let it go too long, they got to go in and root it out, cut it out, and do emergency surgery, which is what they were scheduling me for. Doctor gave me the pills, and he said, look, if this thing doesn't go down in a week and it doesn't flatten out, we need to schedule you for emergency surgery to cut it out. Lucky for me, it did ooze for about a week or two. I could press on it anytime I wanted and eject a little bit of goo, which was a fun party trick for my friends. But other than that, it did heal up pretty good. So I'm thankful for my doctors for helping me out. And it's all over now, and hopefully I never have to go through that again, and I hope that you never have to go through it ever. But if you found this video, it's probably because you suspect that you've been bitten, or that you have been bitten, or you know somebody who has been, and you've been trying to help them. By the way, I was going to mention some home remedies that some people told me about that I did try that I think helped a little bit. I went and got what's called drawing salve. There's a little like orange can you can get called Prid, P-R-I-D. They sell it at Walmart for a couple of bucks. And they call it a drawing salve. It's supposed to draw out a poison. And it's like tar. And I put that on, and I would put that on with a Band-Aid, and I guess it helped. It did help, but the antibiotics probably helped, and the tramadol. So those are some things that you can try. Hope it never happens to you. Hope this gave you some information. I know this is a video that's not like my normal videos that my subscribers watch and listen to. This is probably something you searched for. But the stuff I normally do is I have a TV show called Screen Machines. I build custom cars like the Back to the Future DeLorean Time Machine, Knight Rider, Ghostbusters, and stuff like that. Also do a lot of fun rock and roll stuff, traveling, product reviews, things like that. So if you just found me interesting, feel free to subscribe to my other videos. You may find some other information in my videos that are helpful to you. But otherwise, good luck on your spider bite endeavors. Hope it wasn't a brown recluse. If it was, please go to the hospital right away. Hey, I'm Videobob. Thanks for tuning in. And watch out for spiders. They suck.